So today we're working on music video production. So let's say you've already found your videographer, you found your venue, and you've also found your perfect setup for your video. The next step will be getting the video shot and coming up with a calendar, a schedule of events for the editing process and the release of it, whether you want to drop it on YouTube or any other channel, and you also might want to do promotion for it depending on how far you want to go with it. They have Facebook ads, there's Instagram ads, there's all types of different YouTube ads that you can run. In addition to that, we're going to get into a little bit of more of the technical aspects. So right now we're doing a screen recording of a timeline. So this is Final Cut Pro. Final Cut Pro is a video editing software. We have a timeline here. We're going to be creating a new library on an external device. External devices are basically hard drives. That can be external SD cards. It could be anything that you plug into your computer. I prefer using the external device because just in case you move around or if you want to take your project to go, and it's also safer so you can have a copy of it. You can always copy it to your base hard drive as well, but having it on an external drive like so. This is a Samsung T7, it's an SSD. It's one of the faster versions. I use these, I shoot with my Blackmagic camera and I connect these right up to it. And basically I can load my whole project on here and have all the files right in the same library. So today we're creating a library. We're gonna do a 4K library at 30 frames per second. And that resolution is 3840 by 2160. Now what does that mean? That's just DPI, dots per inch. We're doing ProRes 422, so that's basically just the quality of the video. It also depends on what you shot it in. You don't want to use a different quality than what you shot. It could cause some type of cloudy type of vision. So we're going to stick with what we have, and now we're opening up the new project. So now we have an untitled project. So what does this mean? This means that we can import media once we open up the project. So we're going to name this project Test Project. Now we have the project, and now we're going to import media. So we have some media already on an SD card on this Mac drive. We have a number of different videos here. We're going to select these and click import selected at the bottom. Now we don't need to copy them to the library because they're already on the drive. What it's going to do is it's going to make aliases for the actual files. The alias is basically kind of like a shortcut. It'll be in two places at once and it won't take up twice the space. One important thing about using Final Cut Pro or any editing software, you need to have a lot of space. You can't just have the space that you think you need. You need to have the space you think you need times 2 or 3 or 4, depending on the render files and depending on how much editing and depending on how many different effects you're going to be adding to your project. So we're going to leave files in place. We're not going to create optimized media or any proxies today. That's a little bit more advanced. We'll get into that at another time. We're not going to do any video color balancing. All this videos was shot at 5K temperature, which is what I like to use because I know it's going to be a certain way and I can go with my color grading from there. So now we're importing. So now we'll have all these videos on the timeline. As you can see, this was a music video. We had choreography, we had dance moves, we had actors, and below is the timeline for the music. So what I like to do, I like to go in and add the song first and then add the layers of the clip on top of that. So let's go and find the song. So a lot of people may know about the cloud. I use the cloud for a lot. I use iCloud for a lot. In this particular video, the artist sent me their song via iCloud, so I have it in my iCloud drive. So I can just go and grab this song, drag it right into the timeline, or I can copy the song to the computer. It'll download from iCloud. Let's make sure the song works. Looks like it's working. I'm gonna pause it, and then now we're gonna drag the song over to the timeline. So now we have 2 minutes and 48 seconds of timeline. So the whole portion of this, what we're gonna be doing, we're gonna take all of the media here in our library, drag it over to the timeline. And once we lay it on the timeline, we have different scenes. We have different sets. We have different actors, and we have choreography. So the editing process depends on how you want to do it. You know, you chop things up, you add transitions, you go here, you go there, but the main point about it is just being creative. What I'll say is, when doing a music video, I normally will tell someone that it's something you don't want to like rush. You don't want to rush your music video, because trying to do it in 1 or 2 days versus doing it in 1 or 2 weeks can tell whether the project looks rushed or whether it looks like someone actually sat down and took time and actually put effort and put some love into it. You know, you want to definitely, when you're working with a client, when you're doing a music video, you want to make sure that they get their vision correctly displayed. That's why they've hired you, whether you're a director, whether you're a producer, whether you're a video editor, doesn't matter what you're doing, but the effort that you put into it, the time you put into it, is really going to show when they get their ended polished product. So going through the steps of the editing in this process, what you'll see is there are different stages throughout the video. There's the beginning, the intro. A lot of times in music videos, people like to have an intro where it's either a skit, or people talking, people having a meeting, people getting together for a party, or just pulling up to a scene. And then you kind of build off of that and kind of fade into the music and go into the song. And then some people like to cut in the middle of the song and have a nice little interlude or a skit right in the middle of it as well. For this particular video, we decided to have a beginning piano scene where the artist was playing the piano and then shifted over into the song. And then towards the end, we had another skit where she was in an argument with her boyfriend, and you know, it kind of went from there. But during the video, you'll see that there's multiple different levels of this, and it kind of builds up into what I would call a storyline, and that's kind of like our timeline. Our timeline is like our storyline. For me personally, I like to look at it as like a comic book reel. You know, you can have dialogue, you can have different, you know, subjects within that, or different characters. You can introduce the characters, you can put their names on the screen, or you can just run it through as if everybody's a stranger and everything is focused on the artist. So I'm going to open up a different library now. This is a finalized project right here. And now we can see a lot more stuff on the timeline. So this top level is actually the logo on the bottom left portion of the screen, or the bottom right portion of the screen. Logos are used when you are doing advertisements, or when you're actually promoting a company or a business, or it could also be the artist name. So this could be used for commercials, or for music videos. Commercials and music videos are similar, but they're a little different because most commercials are a lot shorter than music videos. The average music video is 3 minutes. The average commercial is maybe 30 seconds. There are ads, if you watch certain streaming channels like Hulu, or if you watch regular TV. A lot of people don't watch regular TV anymore, but commercials are becoming a thing of the past if you have a certain subscription. So going back to the music video portion of it, when we're looking at a timeline, we're going to see a lot of cuts. Each one of these images, these names, it switches to another is a cut. So when you see the actual number to the clip change, that's a separate clip. On average, there could be hundreds or thousands of clips for a music video project. It could be different cameras, it could be the same camera. One thing you want to avoid is mixing too many different cameras with a project. If you're shooting Sony or Canon or Blackmagic, you have a camera, a B camera, and a C camera. You got to think about your editing. While I was on set filming a movie, we shot Blackmagic, but our B cameras were all GH5 Panasonic Lumix. So when we sat down to edit it, the color grading process was very intense. I'll say we had two color graders and myself doing it. And with our end product was that some of the ranges on the B cameras didn't match up with the A camera. Now, in order to avoid that, when you invest into your music video company or your videography company, either you want to just use everything on your A camera and just shoot multiple different scenes with that one camera, or you can invest in a secondary camera that's either the same or actually the same brand, just in a smaller version. For instance, if you have the Blackmagic Ursula and then let's say the Blackmagic Pocket Cinema Camera 6K, those you can match up very easily. They shoot in the same formats. They have different high dynamic ranges, but it's just easier to edit and it's easier to color grade versus if you're doing Sony with Blackmagic or GH5 with Blackmagic or Blackmagic and Canon. The list goes on. Whether you're doing red, it's just unlimited possibilities with it. So here on this timeline, you'll notice at the bottom that there is sound. This sound is basically what I like to do when I do a music video or anything that's video related. I like to have the snaps or the cuts with the songs match the transitions of the video, whether you're using transitions or whether you're just cutting and going to another scene. You want to avoid having hard cuts without a change in the actual music. So in addition to that, you'll notice that the biggest part of your music video when you're editing is actually matching the words with the music, synchronizing the audio with the words that are being said by the artist. So an easy way to do that is when I shoot a music video, I normally do have either a Bluetooth speaker or someone that can play the music, and we actually will record audio to a certain extent to where we can match up that audio with the audio in the post-production. So this is important because sometimes you'll work with an artist that may not know or may not be super familiar with all of the words in their song, and when they're performing it, they may just stop performing the song. And that's not saying, oh, that's worse or better. It's some artists that don't have word for word when they do their music videos. And this is becoming a bigger industry standard because even in the big leagues, when people are doing the Vivo music videos, the World Star Hip Hop videos, the MTV videos, the VH1 videos, they're not going to sing every word of the song. There's going to be something in between that's called B-roll. B-roll is very important. Without B-roll, you're not going to have any A-roll. You're not going to have a full project. The B-roll is what actually puts together the actual vision. It lets you know what's around them, It lets you know the scenery. It lets you know more so of what is trying to be, what message is being sent. So if you're shooting a music video at a coliseum or a church, you're gonna want to hit the corners. You're gonna want to hit the art. You're gonna want to get parts of the outside of the building. You may even want to get a drone shot of the area just to give the person a more better feel for where they're at. And this is used in film as well. I mean, you'll see it a lot in film. Before the scene starts, there'll be like a nice little skyline of whether they're in New York or Chicago or Boston or Indianapolis or wherever they're at. They'll just show you a nice little overview, little sky view, little bird's eye. They call it bird's eye. That's a word I've heard, bird's eye. I just say drone shot, but you throw one of those in there just to let people know where they're at, what actual area that they're in. And from there on, you can build off of that. So with more of those B-roll shots, you can actually give a person a more in-depth view of what is actually occurring in that scenario, whether it's showing the door they came in, the door they came out of, the ceilings, the lights, the light fixtures, the pictures in the room. If they're in a store, you can show some of the items that are for sale, anything like that. Anything can be B-roll. A person's shoes, a person's watch. And that's really big in music videos. A big thing in music videos is jewelry. A lot of people like to show the artist's jewelry, their necklace, their chain, their earrings, something like that, maybe their watch. In addition to that, another big thing in music videos would be cars. Cars are a big B-roll thing. In this particular video, you'll notice there's a lot of B-roll from the cars. As you can see here, there's car B-roll everywhere. I think the second biggest thing in music videos to jewelry and people is the cars, depending on if they're outside or inside. Having iconic cars like, fast cars, sport cars, and I mean, of course, SUVs, G-Wagons, stuff like that. That is definitely an attention getter. It lets people set the tone. It also helps people tell their story and also see where they're coming from and where they're going with it. So in addition to that, once you put all that together, let's say you have your entire music video all the way pretty much done on your timeline. Before you go color grading and adding effects, you may want to do a rough draft and maybe even export it at that point, or have a viewing with your director or with your artist or whoever it is that you actually are working with, just to let them know, hey, this is what we're at right now. Because one thing you want to avoid having to do is go back and actually move the timeline around, add extra stuff later in the project because you're creating extra work for yourself. Imagine color grading an entire project and then you show it to your person that you hired you, and they say, hey, I don't like any of this, or I don't like that scene there, I don't like this scene there, we need to move that there, we don't like these transitions. Then you just created a whole nother workload for yourself. You got to go back and undo and redo and move things around, and at the end of the day, you still don't know if that's going to be what they want. So you want to work smarter, not harder. You want to definitely make sure you always do a rough draft. And the way to do a rough draft, you have a bare bones version of the video without the effects, without the color grading, without all of the bells and whistles. Now, some people may feel kind of insecure about sharing something like this, but me personally, I would rather show them what the potential the video has versus send them a polished turd. Basically, polish everything up, make it look nice, but it's not what they really want. So in my sense, an easy way to do that, you export the project as it is, and then from there, you send it on to the artist or the director. You can use, Dropbox or iCloud or, any of the programs that allow you to do that. I use iCloud links myself. It's really easy to upload the videos. People have iPhones. It also works with Android as well. It's just web-based downloading, and you can send a high-quality video in no time. And it'll basically just be whatever it is you have uploading to the cloud, and then you email that link or text them that link, and they can get it from anywhere in the world. Once that's done and you get that approved, then you can go back, add your color grading, add your sharpening, add your transformations, add your transitions. You can smooth things out, add your credits, add your graphics, add your logo. Well, that's a big thing as a videographer. Of course, you want to definitely have some type of way for people to know what your work is, whether it's a little jingle, whether it's just like a little stationary item that just flashes on the screen, or if it's a whole overlay that kind of sits in the bottom the whole time. I know a website called World Star Hip Hop. They're really big for that. They have their little watermark sitting on pretty much everything. Vivo is big for that. They'll have their watermark sitting on pretty much everything. And of course, MTV and VH1. So for instance, once you get to that point where you're finalizing the video, you want to communicate with the artist or the director to see when they want to actually drop it. And what I like to do, I like to have the video uploaded to either their channel or my channel and unlisted. There's 3 different ways you can upload it. You can upload it and you can have it set for a premiere, you can have it set private, or you can have it set unlisted, or you can make it public. So the 3 methods of not listing it are the main things you want to focus on. For me personally, I go with unlisted because that gives you time to send that link out. People can like it, people can share it, people can comment on it, people can do everything that people would normally do to it, but they know it's exclusive because it's private, hasn't been released yet. The difference between unlisted and private means you have to share it via email, and people will receive it via email, and only those people you add to that email list can view it. I don't like doing the privates because it's like, okay, unless it's for a big commercial project where only one person is supposed to see it, that's great. But with a music video, you actually do want people to see it. You actually do want to get people's feedback. You want to get comments. You want to release it and it has views and likes already. The most thing that I run into with a lot of amateurs that do videos, a lot of newcomers or rookies that do videos, they'll drop a video random time during the day, nobody to view it, nobody to share it, and then they just spend time sending that link. People are more likely to watch your video when you already have at least 1,000 views. So sharing that video after you have 1,000 views, or maybe even 100 likes, a few comments, let's be real, we're getting down to the bottom of it. The whole reason of doing a video is to get people to do what? View it, see it, and actually engage with it. Having 100,000 views, 0 likes, not gonna add up. Having 1,000 views, 100 likes, 20 comments, those are more numbers that make sense. So once you get that video out there, you share that link, get everybody to see it, get everybody to view it, get everybody to kind of talk about it a little bit. You're getting a little wave for your media, and then you can schedule your drop time for whatever day, post it on Facebook, post it on Instagram. And one thing you might want to do is have your videographer or your editor create a short clip. It could be 30 seconds or a minute. And basically, this clip will have a graphic on the top and a graphic on the bottom. And it'll basically fit in an Instagram window where when people go to it, it'll have the artist name, maybe the videographer at the bottom, and it'll basically have a caption with some hashtags letting people know, hey, this is my new video. We'll be dropping this very soon, or we'll be dropping this on this particular date. So right now I'm gonna pull up a video that we did in computer class. We're gonna check out a couple videos we did and put on YouTube that are from the Pride Academy YouTube. I'm gonna look these up real quick. I think we did about 4 music videos. So Pride Academy 317, that is the YouTube. And as you can see, there are a lot of videos here. We're gonna look at, I'm gonna show you guys an example of the video that I was just talking about that has the borders on the top and the bottom. As you can see in this video, there are borders on the top, borders on the bottom. We have the Pride Academy Easter egg hunt, and that's that bird eye view that I was telling you about, that drone shot. And then there's also what you can see, a lot of B-roll. You know, you kind of get that idea, that vibe of what's going on here. Turn the value down a little bit. All right, so that's one example. Now this wasn't a music video, but this was a video that you can see the different methods of actual the setup. Now we're gonna look at one of the music videos we did for Pride Academy, and this one is called Sunflower. Now this one has a lot of graphics. This was a remake of the Sunflower song, but we're actually not gonna play the music in here because of copyright. But as you can see, we have dancing, we have graphics, we have the sunflower coming up with all the kids, and they're having a good time. There's a little sunflower graphics coming up. Now we made this video in computer class, well, I think about 3 years ago. But we wanted this to be a dance video. We wanted to show the kids having a good time, turning up, playing on the equipment, and just doing their thing. Just basically just at recess, we played around with a lot of different graphics. All the kids in the class were able to get in here and do a transition and to set up a actual clip. So everybody got to participate in this and to be a part of this. The video is about 2.5 minutes. Like I said, the average videos are 3 minutes. So that's Sunflower right there. So I'm going to show you guys another video we did. This one is going to be Old Town Road. This video was actually also 2.5 minutes. So kind of the same concept. Kids dancing, choreographing. We did the Old Town Road challenge at the time. There was a challenge for this, so we had all the kids dancing. And me and I believe me and Miss Jackson did this video. We actually we shot it and we edited it in class, and we had all the kids dancing. We had cowboy hats. That's something I didn't mention earlier. It's good to have props in your video. You want to have lots of props. The props are going to help you with delivering your message and also getting, you know, that vibe across. A prop can be anything. It could be any material object. It could also be something that you add digitally later on towards the end of the project. So with that being said, you want to also have props that make sense. For this, it was Old Town Road, so we had cowboy hats. That made sense because it was kind of a cowboy-like song. Yes, there's plenty of dancing in this video, plenty of kids. They're doing their thing, they're having fun. They're, you know, just really, really doing whatever they wanted to do. Then we have a lot of B-roll. We had one of the kids sitting on top of the basketball hoop, with their cowboy hat on. All right, so that's Old Town Road. And another video that we did is, I believe we did, scroll down, there's a lot of them on here. So yes, this was the Lil Baby Whoa video. We shot this at Washington Park Gym. We did a lot of stuff at Washington Park, graduations, just a whole lot of stuff there. And we actually flew the drone in the gym. Now that was really something different at the time. I had a smaller drone that you could actually fly in the gym. So we had multiple different scenes in this video. We had scenes at Washington Park, we had scenes at Pride Academy West, we had scenes in the back dance area in Washington Park as well. So we did like a break dancing circle type of ordeal, and then we also had another dance off as well, where some of the people were there and helped out on it. So that's just a couple examples of, you know, a finalized project for something we did for the kids. And like I said, once you drop your video, you'll have more so of a idea for what you're doing. In addition to that, it's important to understand that the aspects that you put into your video are kind of going to be what you expect to get back. So if you have a big budget, that's the most important question. When somebody asks you to do a video, the first thing I ask them is, what's your budget? How much do you want to put into this? Do you have venues? Do you have a shooter? Do you have a production company? Do you have someone to promote this? If yes, this. If no, this. If this, then that. So moving forward, you want to definitely go for finding somebody that has a lot more of those items, and you can piece together what needs to be done off of that. And I'll tell you right now, my main portion in doing music videos is being a one-stop shop. People can rent cars, they can rent an Airbnb, they can get the shooter of their choice, or I can shoot it. You can get a different editor, or I can edit it. In addition to that, post-production, we can have a promotion team that can push the video on different platforms, get it posted on other pages, and also get the numbers to where they make sense, to where if this person is serious about it, they want to be on TV doing this versus if somebody's just doing it for a hobby. So those are things to keep in mind. And then once again, you want to definitely put your best foot forward. You don't want to just rush this. You know, I can tell the difference between a video that took 1 day versus a video that took 10 days. It's going to be 10 times the effort in it. And that doesn't mean that the 1 day video is not as good as the 10 day, but that just means that there might be some things you missed in that 1 day video versus that 10 day video after watching it thousands and thousands of times. Believe me, as many videos I've done, the songs that I did the videos for, I remember those songs word by word. After you're done making a music video, you will know the words to that song. And if you don't, you definitely, you'll remember at least some of it, you know. So keep that in mind when you're working with somebody. If there's something you don't think it's okay to say no. It's okay to say, hey, I don't think I can do this project. Or, hey, I don't think that my production team has the budget for this. Or our specialty is maybe country music. We're not into the rap game, or we don't know how to do R&B. But it's okay to go into different platforms. I've expanded from pop to R&B to rap to, I've done all types of different music videos, and it's a challenge. You know, it challenges your it's really a challenge for yourself. You know, for me personally, after doing a movie, I'd never turn down a project after that, because doing a movie means you're doing a music video with a commercial, also with the storyline, a documentary. It just goes on from there. So just keep that in mind, and don't be afraid to say no, but also don't be afraid to say yes. Once again, my name is Will Garth, and this is for Computer Class, Pride Academy 317. If you guys have any questions, please let me know. This is music video production class. Thank you.